Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down. Kindly switch your phones into silent mode so as not to disrupt the program. During the ceremony, please refrain from taking photos near the stage since we have an official photographer to capture the moments. The official photos will be shared with you. Good evening, everyone. I am Ira Marie Pingol from the Public Management and Development Program. On behalf of the program, I am excited to welcome you to the PMDP opening ceremony of the Senior Executive Class Batch 12. Speaking of 12, since 2012, the PMDP has been producing transformative leaders who will nurture the country's future. To date, 11 batches of the Senior Executive Class, 31 batches of the Middle Managers class, 1 class of the SEC's Shuttle Course, and 4 batches of the Frenetic Leadership class have been or are currently being redefined by their experience in PMDP. As of this moment, we have graduated 1,450 government officers from 382 agencies nationwide. Presently, many more are undertaking the program, bringing the number to 1,684. Tonight, we are delighted to welcome another batch of high potential and high performing senior executives who are privileged to undergo the rigorous training program designed to make transformative leaders of the Filipino people. These are 16 senior executives of the bureaucracy from 8 government agencies across the country, from as far as the Cagayan Valley in the north and central Mindanao in the south. Joining us for the first time is the Philippine Children's Medical Center. We're glad to have you with us. As part of the PMDP tradition, the welcoming class Sec 11 Gabayani leads the succeeding batch. Earlier, both Sec 11 and Sec 12 were in the Learning Center for the Salubong, where the scholars got acquainted with each other. In the Salubong, Sec 11 shared testimonials and stories of their personal experiences, giving Sec 12 a glimpse of the PMDP life they're about to live. Also in the Salubong, goals were set as the incoming scholars wrote down their aspirations for their stay here in PMDP. It will be an amazing experience to revisit this at the end of the training to see how these goals have been fulfilled. Senior executives class, together with their mentors and learning managers, will meet face-to-face. This is the first batch of SEC to undergo rigorous training in a full face-to-face learning mode since the pandemic. As you may know, the Academy has been adapting to ever-changing environment from the onset of the pandemic to the easing of the health restrictions by shifting to the flexible learning setup. As global health conditions continue to improve, the Academy will now be conducting activities in person with health and safety protocols still in place. Also, we are live in the PMDP Facebook page and YouTube channel. Use our hashtags #Sec12 and #PMDP opening ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome the PMDP Senior Executives Class Batch 12, escorted by Sec Batch 11, Gabayani. Thank you for escorting the newest PMDP scholar, Sec 11 Gabayani. You may now take your seats. Sec 12, please remain standing. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the 16 members of the Senior Executive Class Batch 12. To honor the flag, let us all put our hands on our chest and show our patriotism by enthusiastically singing the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by the invocation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Everyone may now be seated. Once again, a pleasant evening to all. Thank you all for joining us tonight as we celebrate this momentous event. Now, to formally welcome all of us, let us give the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Development Academy of the Philippines, Attorney Engelbert C. Caronan Jr., a round of applause.
To our Senior Vice President for Programs, Magdalena Mendoza, Senior Vice President for Services, Bernardo Dizon, PMDP Managing Director, Nanette Caparos, Sec 12 Class Director, Maria Noralisa Bite, Sec 12 Class Director, Dr. Josefa Rizalina Bautista, MMC 30 Class Director, Virginia Aldea, MMC 31 Class Director, Lisa Inez Antonio, Faculty in Charge, Dr. Maria Lourdes Rebolida, Sec 5 Alumnus, Dr. Teresito C. Bocolcol. The faculty members, officers, and staff of the Development Academy of the Philippines, and to the 16 new scholars of Sec 12, good evening to each and everyone. Pasensya na kayo, ang daming dinaan ng mga meetings ngayong araw na ito. Anyway, it is a great privilege to welcome the first face-to-face opening ceremony of the Public Management Development Program's Senior Executives class after the pandemic. The Seniors Executive class is designed to cater to government officers who cannot be released for an extended period of time and residential training, hence the 5 days per week for 10 months duration of the program. Over the years, the PMDP, as a program of the national government designed to foster professionalism in government and promote stability in the bureaucracy by producing a core of development-oriented, competent, dedicated, and honest government leaders, has indeed come a long way since it first opened its doors to the first batch of high potential and high performing government executives in 2012. Your role as the new scholars of this program is crucial in providing a positive impact to the lives of those whom you serve. You are given the opportunity to be part of this program as you are seen with extraordinary potential to become more than just your titles, but the next in line to lead the country no matter what agency you belong to. With that, as we open the second PMDP class for 2023, let me congratulate and thank the program management team for constantly and continuously seeking ways to refine and reignite the passion of our seniors executive in becoming a holistic leader for the bureaucracy. To the Seniors Executive Class Batch 12, welcome to the Development Academy of the Philippines, and congratulations on earning your place as scholars of the government. Let the succeeding months be a meeting of minds and hearts. Let PMDP be your hub that recognizes learning and good fellowship. I encourage you to seize every learning opportunity that will come your way and realize your potential as public servants. Use the knowledge and skills that you will gain from the program to better serve the nation and your respective institutions and constituents. Ultimately, as mga scholar ng bayan, may you not forget to pay forward this rare opportunity by serving our kababayans through your future innovations and fruitful endeavors such as your capstone papers and research outputs. Again, let me warmly welcome this year's Sec 12 scholars, and may you have a rich and productive journey ahead of you. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you for the warm welcome, President Caronan, and for inspiring us with your words of wisdom. PMDP boasts an impressive lineup of faculty, and I'm sure that the new scholars are very eager to know who their mentors will be. To introduce the esteemed panel members of our faculty, may we call on the stage the Senior Vice President for Programs, Ms. Magdalena L. Mendoza.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Because the best and the brightest of the bureaucracy should only be learning from seasoned practitioners and academicians, or what we call the pracademics, the DAP pulled together eminent individuals of varied backgrounds for one patriotic cause, that is, to sharpen the capabilities of the creme de la creme of the Philippine bureaucracy to serve the Filipino people with competence, integrity, and commitment. To our faculty members who are here, as I introduce you, please stand to be acknowledged. So let me start by introducing our faculty for Learning Area 1, Governance and Development. For the first module, that's Perspectives in Governance and Development. The faculty in charge is Dr. Temario C. Rivera, Professorial Lecturer, Department of Political Science, University of the Philippines, and Chairperson, Center for People Empowerment in Governance. Dr. Joseph Anthony Lim, Professorial Lecturer, Department of Economics, Ateneo de Manila University. Ms. Ramonesa Ricardo, Independent Management Consultant and former Director of the Development Academy of the Philippines. The second module, International Governance and Policy Innovations. You have myself as the faculty in charge and Ms. Maria Noralisa Bite as my co-faculty together with Ms. Nanet Caparos of the PMDP. Of course, you know Ms. Bite, right? For Learning Area 2 on Strategic Public Management, the first module on Public Sector Economics and Finance, we have Dr. Emmanuel Esguera, Faculty in Charge, Retired Professor, School of Economics, University of the Philippines, and former Secretary of the National Economic and Development Authority. His co-faculty is Ms. Laura Pasqua, former Undersecretary, Budget Policy and Strategy Group of the Department of Budget and Management. Under this module, we have a number of resource speakers also. We have Ms. Maria Teresa Habitan, Chancellor of the Local Government Institute of the Philippine Tax Academy, former Assistant Secretary of the Department of Finance, Dr. Sir Percival Peña Reyes, Assistant Professor and Director of the Ateneo Center for Economic Research and Development, Ateneo de Manila University, Mr. Arnel Adrian Salva, Deputy Director for Economic and Financial Learning Center, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Mr. Rolando Tungpalan, former Undersecretary of the National Economic and Development Authority, Mr. Rolando Toledo, Undersecretary of the Budget Policies and Strategy Group, Department of Budget and Management, Dr. Rosemary Edilion, Undersecretary for Policy and Planning Group of the National Economic and Development Authority, Ms. Winnie Rose Encaliado, Assistant Commissioner, Legal Services Sector of the Commission on Audit, Ms. Luz V. Panganchato, Assistant Commissioner, Government Accountancy Sector, Commission on Audit, Ms. Amelita Castillo, former Assistant Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, Mr. Gerald Handa, Director, Organization, Position Classification and Compensation Bureau, Department of Budget and Management, Ms. Tessie Gregorio, former Director, Budget and Management Bureau of the Department of Budget and Management, Attorney Rowena Cantis Ruiz, Executive Director of the Government Procurement Policy Board Technical Support Office, Ms. Andrea Celine Magtalas, Director of Information and Communications Technology Systems Service, Department of Budget and Management, and Ms. Maria Cecilia Socorro Abogado, Chief, I think she's already Assistant Director of the Budget Management Bureau A, Department of Budget and Management. For evidence-based policy making, the faculty in charge is Dr. Eduardo Gonzalez, Professorial Lecturer and former Dean of the Asian Center, University of the Philippines, and former President of the Development Academy of the Philippines. We also have Mr. Carlos Bernardo Abad Santos as co-faculty. He is Undersecretary of the Regional Development Group, National Economic and Development Authority, and Ms. Mary Geraldine Naraha, OD and Change Management Consultant and former Director of the Policy Research Office of the Development Academy of the Philippines. For the module on Innovation and Strategic Management, we have Mr. Tomas Africa as faculty in charge, a statistics consultant, and of course, former administrator, National Statistics Office. With him are myself and Dr. Aura C. Matias from the University of the Philippines College of Engineering, and also an academician of the National Academy of Science and Technology, and currently Director of the Quality Assurance Office of the University of the Philippines. For the next learning area, that is personal efficacy and leadership, the module on personal efficacy and leadership will be handled by Mr. Sofronio Llorin as faculty in charge, an OD expert and former Vice President of the Development Academy of the Philippines, Ambassador Laura Del Rosario, President of Miriam College and former Undersecretary for International Economic Relations of the Department of Foreign Affairs. We also have Ms. Maria Nieves Confessor, Adjunct Faculty of the Asian Institute of Management and former Secretary, Department of Labor and Employment. Mr. Jose Miguel de la Rosa, Vice President of Clark Development Corporation, former Undersecretary of the National Economic and Development Authority. And Ms. Caroline Espiritu, Independent Media Consultant. For phonetic leadership, we have Dr. Hideki Kawada as faculty in charge. He is the CEO of Phonetic Company Limited, a visiting lecturer of the Graduate School of International Corporate Strategy of Hitotsubashi University in Japan. With him in this module is Mr. Jose Miguel de la Rosa also, and myself. For capstone paper, sorry, ako pala lahat yung nandito. And ano lang po ako, taga-assist ako sa mga faculty. But at any rate, for the capstone paper, you have also myself as the faculty in charge, and together with me are Dr. Maria Lourdes Rebolida, Professorial Lecturer of the Department of Political Science, University of the Philippines, and also member of the DAP Academic Council. And Dr. Eduardo Gonzalez, Professorial Lecturer and former Dean of the Asian Center and former President of DAP, who's also member of the DAP Academic Council. There you go. So we have a long list of faculty, and I hope that you will enjoy your sessions with them. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, SVP Mendoza. The PMDP pool of faculty is composed of known paragons in their respective fields. Sec Batch 12 scholars, let them be your inspiration in this journey for excellence. Now that we've seen the impressive faculty lineup, let's get to know the people who are tirelessly and dedicatedly working behind the scenes to ensure that these scholars get the best experience from the program. Let's hear it from PMDP's Managing Director, Ms. Nanet C. Caparos. Ma'am Nanet.
Senior Executives Class Batch 12 scholars, apart from your exemplary faculty, you will have an ace up your sleeve. And this is the PMDP team, which is composed of energetic, multi-talented, and digitally adept members whom you can rely on. So don't be intimidated by the eminence of the faculty that Ma'am Dedeng just presented. You will have able assistance from our young staff, no? There's Eds, there's JM, there's Jade, there's Shaina, and also very pretty and handsome. Okay, so PMDP is a very complex program to run, and because of that, we are organized into several teams. Of course, Senior Executives Class Batch 12, your first encounter was the recruitment and admissions team. Okay, and I think they're all here, so I'm asking them to make rampa in front. Okay, for the recruitment and admissions team, that's headed by our program manager, Milet Yang. Our project manager for this team is John Robert Javier, Associate Project Officer. And then we have Desiree Grace Distajo, Associate Project Officer. We have Angie Ranas, Project Assistant. We have Christine Angel Santa Romana, also Project Assistant. And we have Miss Eliza Samantha Season, Project Assistant. So what do you say? Di ba tama ako? Pretty and handsome young people. Okay, for promotions and advocacy, which is also supervised by our program manager, Milet Yang, and they are the people behind this event, no? We have Associate Project Officer Azrael Andrew R. Gonzalez. We have Monalyn Cuenca. Darlene Dancel. Maria Angela Esquivias, and Hans Emmanuel Alpahora. So far, so good, right? And then we have the very big training operations team, and that's headed by Maida Nieves as program manager. Maida. We have our host this evening, that's Ira Marie Piñol. We also have with us Jonathan Alfred Agmata. So on the screen, we also have there Nicolo Brian Elise and Luis Emmanuel Valdivia, who are both Associate Project Officers. So you'll be meeting them also in your program. For Learning Area 2, we have Winona Francine Misagal, Associate Project Officer. Is Winona here? And then we have Joseph Artelus SD Barawidan, Project Assistant. He's over there. He's our techie guy. We have Edsel Dominic Bimbo, Associate Project Officer. And then on the screen, we have Juan Rodrigo Ongchanco, Avelino M. Palacio, and Cyrus Gray Gawiran. You'll also meet them in the future. For Learning Area 3, we have with us tonight Janina Javier and James Lad Molina. So back in Manila are Jomar Villanueva and Rafael Resurrection, who are the Associate Project Officers of Learning Area 3. We also have MMC 30 and MMC 31 Learning Management Team. Chris Lay, Therese Taguba is the Project Manager, or Learning Manager of MMC 30, and then she is joined by some ladies who are not here tonight, but they are very visible as learning management team members. Mary Eunice, Alexandra T. Estolas, Diane Balao, and Jaya Nolido. Sorry. Samba. Okay, we also have a M&E, curriculum, and KM team, no? And that's headed by Program Manager Cheryl Reyes. She is with Keith Soriano. And then, Chelsea Nario. Esteban, newly married. Jay Martin. And with me in the, ay wala si ano, di ba? Also with them is Lou Daryl. Andes, yes. So with me, pati siya na and then for the Office of the Managing Director, we have finance officers, Kath Cabanilla, and Eliza. Eliza is over there also manning the tech booth. And then of course, for the learning managers of MMC batch, SEC batch 12, we have Jade Orsua, and Shaina Iruma. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you agree with me? What now? We should say, welcome aboard, SEC Batch 12. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Nanette Caparos, for introducing the PMDP team. Thanks, team. On behalf of the whole team, I can say to the Batch 12 that we will be at your service all throughout your PMDP journey. Now that we have introduced the faculty and staff, it's time to finally meet the new scholars who have been chosen for their outstanding performance and commitment to public service. To present the incoming scholars, may I call on the class director of SEC Batch 12, Ms. Maria Noralisa C. Vite.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Interagency Steering Committee of the National Government's Career Executive Service Development Program, it is my honor to present to you 16 scholars of the 12th batch of the Senior Executives class of the Public Management Development Program. The right of inclusion is a tradition meant to showcase the participation of the government agencies who send scholars to PMDP. This also displays the diversity of each batch, signifying that all the agencies and scholars involved are taking place in nation building. Once all the scholars belonging to the same agency are on stage, they will be mounting their agency's logo upon the wall. Then they can proceed back to their designated seats. Dear scholars, as I call your name, position, and agency, please proceed to the front to mount your respective logos. Emma A. Camporedondo, Department of Education, Region 11. Jerry D. Cruz, Department of Education, Region 3. J. F. Makasiev, Department of Education, National Capital Region. Fernandina P. Ochenko, Department of Education, Region 3. Carlos G. Sosarno, Department of Education, Region 12. So these are our scholars from the Department of Education. You may now mount your logo. Our next scholar is Enrique H. Gascon Jr., Department of Social Welfare and Development, Cordillera Administrative Region. Myla S. Gatchalian, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Region 4, Calabarzon. Venus F. Rebulbela, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Region 3. Eric John H. Marmol, Philippine Science High School System, Region 2. Eric O. Ueda, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, Region 3. Jeffrey C. Cruz, Civil Service Commission, Region 4, Mimaropa. Sharon Farida A. Flores, Civil Service Commission, Region 5. Rosalini V. Moneda, Civil Service Commission, Region 5. Will Femel S. Tolentino Macaraeg, Development Bank of the Philippines Central Office. Lani O. Pornuevo, Land Bank of the Philippines Central Office. Caridad M. Santos, Philippine Children's Medical Center, National Capital Region. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 16 scholars from 8 agencies that comprise the 12th batch of the Senior Executives class. Mga kaibigan, isang mas malakas at masigabong palakpakan para sa ating mga bagong scholar.
Thank you, Class Director BTEP, for presenting to us the 16 scholars of SEC Batch 12. To conclude the symbolic rite for the Senior Executive class, SEC Batch 11 Gabayani class representative Ms. Abigail N. Andres will pose their challenge to the incoming SEC Batch. Ms. Andres, please stand at the center. And may we also request the scholars of SEC Batch 11 Gabayani to please rise and join Ms. Andres while she delivers her challenge speech. SEC Batch 12, please also stand facing the SEC Batch 11.
Good evening, everyone. Attorney Engelbert Caronan Jr., President and CEO of DAP. Of course, our favorite, Ma'am Dedeng Magdalena Mendoza, SVP for Programs. Sir Bernardo Dizon, SVP for Services. Our beloved and favorite as well, Sec 11, Gabayani Class Director. Our mother, Doc Jobao, Josefina Rizalina Bautista. Sec 12, incoming Class Director, Ma'am Maria Noralisa Bite. MMC 30 Class Director Virginia Aldea, MMC 31 Class Director Lisa Ines Antonio, Dr. Maria Lourdes Rebolida, my favorite capstone paper advisor, Dr. Teresito Bacolcol, Sec 5 alumnus, DAP team, special mention si EDS at si JM who had been very helpful and naging barkada na namin. My fellow Sec 11 Gabayanis, nakita nyo naman po ang mga itsura namin ngayon. And of course, to Sec Batch 12 scholars, I am humbled and maybe destined by circumstance or sabi nga nila by God because I was the one who accepted the challenge last salubong during Sec 11. So now, ngayon, ako naman po yung challenge for the Sec 12. Dapat si RD Norin, but she has a very urgent task to do today. So, let me start on behalf of Sec 11, challenge speech. As our learning journey as PMDP Sec 11 Gabayani nears its completion, I could only look back to the almost one year learning journey with Development Academy of the Philippines, with a heart filled with gratitude and a mind so fast with new learnings. And because of this, I could assure that PMDP Sec 11 with all confidence that your decision to come for your diploma in development management is one of the best decisions you have made in your professional career in government. As we all welcome you here today, we also would like to level your expectations and challenge you as well. Foremost, the PMDP journey is not a walk in the park. You will be juggling work, family life, or jowa life, as the case may be, and DAP academic demands, all caps. You have to manage your time. Most subject matter experts will give you voluminous reading materials and they expect you to read and understand everything by the time you enter the class. You may opt not to read, but I challenge you, read your assignments. Read your assignments. Otherwise, you will be in class scratching your heads the whole time. I did scratch my head, pero hindi naman always. I tell you, it's not a great feeling. So read, study, and be diligent. I would not want to skip to remind you that quizzes are also given before and after lectures to find out whether you have studied your assignments or not. And mind you, they are serious about your class participation. They are reflected in your grades. Take everything seriously, all caps. But the beautiful thing is that while I said your PMDP class is not a walk in the park, it will be all worth it. You will gain many new knowledge and learnings which you will need as you further your career in government. You will come out of the PMDP class as a totally new lingkod bayan. You will be more confident, more motivated, and reinvigorated. Be thrilled, all caps. I come from the interior and local government sector. If I may have an analogy, I entered DAP as a bantay bayan. And after my PMDP class, I came out as a punong barangay. Or if we want to be more high-end, I came in as a mayor and come out as a governor. I know it is the same with my classmates too. Our PMDP learning journey has transformed us. I would say, DAP has enabled me to become a more matino, mahusay, and maaasahang kawani. For sure, the rest of my classmates as well. I know you will be too, so be ready. All caps, be ready. I would also like to challenge you to please savor the days you will be learning together as Sec 12. Enjoy each other's company, appreciate your subject matter experts, love your learning managers and class director, forge a meaningful camaraderie with everyone in the team because you do not have only time together. Before you know it, your almost 1 year is already over. Don't miss your chance to dine together at the refectory. The crew are very accommodating and are always willing to give you extra rice or anli sabaw. Maraming salamat po, mga kuya, for always giving me extra rice and anli sabaw. In other words, enjoy DAP Tagaytay. It is our happy place. It is our second home. And I hope it is yours too soon. Again, welcome and Godspeed.
Thank you, Ms. Abigail Andres. So, Sec 12, the challenge has been thrown at your feet. How
Paros, Class Director for Sec 12, Maria Noraliza Cibite, Program Manager for Recruitment and Admissions, Reina Carmelita Young, the PMDP team, the faculty who are here, Sec 5 alumnus, Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol, the PMDP family. Good evening, everyone. We would like to thank the Development Academy of the Philippines and the members of the National Government's Career Executive Service Development Program Interagency Steering Committee for confirming us as scholars to the SEC at Batch 12 of the Development Academy of the Philippines. Thank you also to our head of agencies for their support by allowing us to participate in this program. I am humbled to accept the challenge on behalf of the Senior Executive Class Batch 12. We know that learning is not attained by chance. We will seek it with passion and diligence, with the guidance and expertise of the PMDP faculty who will selflessly provide us fresh learnings, valuable lessons, and life experiences. We vow to take this challenge as transformational experience to broaden our perspective and a seed of opportunity for growth as leaders and would-be leaders, putting to heart the panunumpa ng lingkod bayan, and I quote, "Lilinangin ko ang aking sariling kakayahan upang sa lahat ng panahon ay mapaglingkuran ko ng buong kahusayan ang sambayanan." End of quote. We know that it is not easy, but we are determined to take all in every details of learning, develop camaraderie, build partnerships, share best practices, and enjoy our stay, knowing that in the end, we are better lingkod bayanis. As Jim Rohn, an American businessman, motivational speaker, and coach, said, and I quote, "Don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action." Thus, this program places a burden on us to do more in the service of our people. To the Senior Executives Class Batch 11, congratulations to all of you. Thank you for sharing with us your treasured experiences, learning insights, pieces of advice, and the reminder that this is not a walk in the park. We say, with God's help, we will add color to the park out of that walk. Again, challenge accepted, and we will savor the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moneda and Ms. Andres, for your challenge and commitment, respectively. We trust that you will all successfully hurdle the upcoming obstacles that this program entails, and we are confident that these experiences will surely make you stronger and wiser. Surely, these new scholars will accept and live up to the expectations, no matter how intimidating it may seem. The challenge aims to kindle determination to inspire public leaders to serve more, to be relentless agents of change. SEC Batch 11 has now passed on the torch of excellence to SEC Batch 12. We wish you all the best in successfully accomplishing all the program requisites meant to hone you to become the kind of public leaders that we want for the Filipino people. To showcase the unique and exceptional talents of the scholars, let's welcome once again the SEC Batch 11 Gabayani.
Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Narito po ang mga gabayani. Saan nanggaling ang gabayani? Ito po ay nanggaling sa iba't ibang butil ng kaisipan ng bawat miyembro ng SEC 11 na nag-ugat sa kaibuturan ng aming mga puso. Gabayani, ani, kami po ang ani ng PMDP SEC 11. Dahil kami ay ani, kami po ay bunga ng kanilang pagpapagal, bunga ng kanilang mga dalangin na sana makayanan namin. Kami po ay gabay. Tinanggap po naming challenge upang maging gabay kami sa aming mga ehensya at sa aming mga kapwa kawani. Kami po ay bayani. Bayani na hindi binabaril, kundi bayani na patuloy na nakatayo at patuloy na nagsisilbi sa bayan. Gabayani. At handog namin sa inyo ang aming awiting Gabayani Kami.
Gabayaning may malasakit at mahusay, gabayaning maringal at sikhay. Kami ang ani, kapaypayani, gabayani kami. Buhat sa maraming gulo, kaming lahat nagkatagpo, at kami ay pinagpupulo ng diwa ng paglilingkod. Ani, gabay at bayani, gabayani kami. Gabayaning may malasakit at mahusay, gabayaning maringal ang sikhay. Kami ang ani, kapaypayani, gabayani kami. Matibay ang kalooban at bukas paladang kamay. Sa aming puso ay tangan, pag-ibig sa Diyos at bayan. Ani, gabay at bayani, gabayani kami. Gabayaning may malasakit at mahusay, gabayaning maringal ang sikhay. Kami ang ani, kabaybayani, gabayani kami. Kapit-bisig, sama-sama, sa pag-unlad gumagawa, masisilayan ng bansa ang maning na umaga. Ani, gabay at bayani, gabayani kami. Gabayaning may malasakit at mahusay, gabayaning maringal at sikhay. Kami ang ani, kabaybayani, gabayani kami. Nakatalaga sa pagsisilbi sa bayang kinakandili, sa bayang kinakandili.
Thank you very much, Sec 11 Gabayani, for sharing your talents. Now, Sec 12, I am sure you're very excited to begin your PMDP journey. We do not just have the challenge for excellence from Sec 11 Gabayani to motivate the newest batch. We also have invited a special guest who will share with us the beauty and purpose of being a PMDP scholar. To introduce our inspirational speaker, may we call on stage the Program Manager of the Monitoring and Evaluation, Curriculum and Knowledge Management Team, Ms. Cheryl D. Reyes, to do the honors, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So allow me to formally introduce our inspirational speaker for tonight. So our inspirational speaker has a solid 23 years of excellent service in the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. So tech savviness, coupled by his expertise on active fault motions using global positioning systems or GPS and geophysics to enhance PHIVOX warning systems and hazard assessment for disasters caused by volcanic eruptions, led to the installation of real-time GPS monitoring systems in active volcanoes in the country, such as Mayon, Taal, Bulusan, and Canlaon. So this enables the issuance of early warning to citizens near the danger zones, which can save lives if it has not already, especially during the recent Taal volcanic eruption in 2020. So as a scientist, our speaker would take time to study the challenges at hand, poring himself over his books, getting the information directly from the people, and proposing innovations and solutions. And of course, as a leader, he readily assumes new undertakings. Perhaps the most challenging would be his assumption of his current position as the now head of PHIVOX. He is part, as has been mentioned several times already, he's part of Sec 5 Dalisay way back in 2016. He made a deep lasting impression when he graduated with honors and garnered the most outstanding capstone paper award during their batch. But, well, personally, what I remember most about him when he was a PMDP scholar was that he was one of the quiet ones in class of 21 very vocal and strong-willed senior leaders. But whenever he shares something, it would always be very rational, substantive, and of course, insightful. So to backtrack a little bit more, not long after earning his bachelor's degree in geology from UP Diliman in 1995, our speaker went on to earn his Master of Advanced Study. Sir, French word ito, sir. I don't know. Diplôme d'études approfondies, sorry, or DEA in geology from the Université de Paris in France. And then he also went on to earn, immediately after that, his PhD in geology from the same university. So it is both a privilege and honor, of course, to introduce this event's inspirational speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who vowed to continue to push for smart and resilient communities, let us all welcome the director of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol. Sir Toto.
With great power comes great responsibility. I'm sure you've heard that line before in one of the movies that you've probably seen. So that was the line of Uncle Ben, and he when he gave an advice to Peter Parker. Peter Parker was the Spider-Man. So with great power comes with great responsibility. Concomitant with the influence and power each of you are holding as government officials is the more important responsibility to be of good service to the Filipino people. Being qualified to be part of the senior executive class is an indicator that you are in a position to make game-changing institutional policies. You are here because you are being prepared for something greater. You are here because the respective institutions where you belong believe in you. Here you are representing not only yourself, but also the institutions where you came from, and thus your institutions' core values as perceived in each of you. You are here not simply to get the highly coveted diploma in development management. You are here for a purpose greater than each of your personal agenda. Dr. Onofre Corpus, founder and the first president of the DEP, once said, "The bureaucracy will be as big as the task of the society. It will be as complex and fascinating as the nation itself. It will be afflicted with Filipinos' weaknesses, but it will benefit from their virtues. They say bureaucracy is bad, we say otherwise. To the wondering eyes of the public, bureaucracy is but a concept that complicates the simplest of things. To us, bureaucracy is an opportunity to lead and manage organizations efficiently. DAP President and Chief Executive Officer, Attorney Gilbert Caronan Jr., Senior Vice President for Programs, Ma'am Magdalena Mendoza, Senior Vice President for Services, Bernardo A. Dizon, PMDP Managing Director, Ma'am Nanette Caparos, SAC 12 Class Director, Maria Noralisa Bite, SAC 11 Class Director, Dr. Josefa Rizalina M. Bautista, MMC 30 Class Director, Virginia C. Aldea, MMC 31 Class Director, Lisa Ines C. Antonio, Faculty in Charge, Dr. Maria Lourdes Ribulieda, SAC Batch 11 and 12 Scholars, good evening. I am greatly humbled and deeply honored to be chosen to deliver an inspirational speech during the opening ceremony of the PMDP SAC Class Batch 12. 7 years ago, I was also like you, a student under the same program. I was one of the 21 SAC officials who sat where you are seated right now. During our time, it was former DOJ Secretary Laila de Lima, who was then a senator, who welcomed us and gave the keynote speech. And for that reason alone, I was hesitant to indulge when I was invited by Ma'am Millet to be your inspirational speaker for tonight. I felt I'm not worthy to be your speaker, and I'm definitely not on the same caliber as the former Secretary of Justice. Although I already said yes to Ma'am Millet, I still had doubts if I made the right decision of accepting the invitation. I asked myself, why me? Am I that old or experienced enough to inspire these equally competent executives? Well, reality hit me. I'm really getting older than I thought I am. Next month, I will be celebrating my golden birthday. So basically, ka-birthday ko pala yung DEP because DEP was founded in 1973. Under those years are my 23 years of public service. Upon brooding it over for quite some time, I realized that each of us has a story to tell. We have our own personal journeys that may either be one of the two things, an inspiration or a warning. So I hope my story will be of the former, not as a warning for you not to follow. Like you, I too have a story to tell, and hopefully I will be able to inspire you one way or another. With your indulgence, allow me to give you a short background of my humble beginnings. I was named after my eldest sibling, Teresita. After 9 children, 7 girls and 2 boys, my parents probably decided to put an end of this business of producing children. So this is perhaps the reason why I, the 10th child, was named Teresito, to emphasize that my parents had already come full circle. I was born on March 31, 1973, in a timber logging barangay named Tinoyop, located in municipality of Sindangan in Zamboanga del Norte. This was where I finished my 2nd grade before my family moved to Dipolog City in 1982, when the logging company closed shop and the logging town, as it was a far-flung barangay, became a hotbed of New People's Army. After high school, I went to University of the Philippines in Diliman, where I took up geology. Tinoyop, my birthplace, had a significant impact on why I chose this field of study. When I was younger, my tatay used to bring me with him to his work in the mountains, where I can experience all that nature has to offer. That probably influenced my love for the outdoors. My mother died in 1995 at the age of 65 due to cancer. My father died 2 years ago at the age of 89. Due to COVID and the travel restrictions, I was not able to see tatay soon before he died. My ever beautiful wife, Silver Rose Ann, is an infectious disease doctor. And we have two lovely daughters, Patricia, 14 years old, and Denise, 10 years old. My life has its ups and downs. There were mountaintop experiences and feelings of exuberance. There were also depths of valley experiences and feelings of inadequacies. In all these experiences, I know that God was always up there to guide me. Now, I want to share some important lessons I learned in my almost half a century of existence and almost a quarter of a century as a public servant. I actually prepared many, but for brevity, I will only mention 4. First, we have to reinvent ourselves from time to time to stay relevant. By reinventing, I mean we should seek to improve ourselves regularly. We should neither dwell too much on our past achievements, nor should we be content with whatever accomplishments we have, be it real or imagined. We should measure our life success not based on the recognition or the positions that this world has to offer, but rather on the maximum utilization of the talents and potential that have been entrusted to us and how we are able to make an impact to the public whom we are sworn to serve. Borrowing the wise words of Alvin Toffler, the author of the book Future Shock, he said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Back in our SEC class, the batch 5, the Lisay, we were shown a movie called Who Moved My Cheese. About 20 years before, I got hold of a book with the same title. I thought it was a children's book. It was only when I saw the movie adaptation of that book that it dawned to me that I missed the lessons the book imparted. If we don't change, we would become extinct. That was the recurring message of the movie. At that time, I was satisfied with what I have achieved. At 30 years old, I already obtained my graduate degree. I have a lovely wife and 2 bright kids. Life is good, I thought. My room was full of cheese. I could just coast along and wait until I retire. But something was missing. I felt empty sitting in my room full of old cheese. I missed the challenges that I experienced when I did my graduate studies. The adrenaline rush of beating the deadline and the uncertainty of obtaining the diploma. Aside from this, there were surges of younger and more aggressive scientists in my field who were also armed with PhDs and newer ideas. I had to reinvent myself and look for fresh cheeses if I want to remain relevant. In our historical geology class way back in college, we learned a very valuable lesson from the lowly cockroaches, yung mga inapak-apakan lang natin. They perfected the art of adaptation and even went to the extreme of changing their sizes to survive. The dinosaurs, because of their big sizes, gigantic sizes, were unable to protect themselves from the effects of meteorite impact and the resulting environmental changes that took place during the turbulent Mesozoic era. They did not go the way of the cockroaches whose sizes during the Carboniferous period were 100 times bigger than their present sizes, but slowly reduced them through mutation and adaptation. So when the old Earth was bombarded with meteors, the cockroaches, because of their small sizes, were able to protect themselves. If we don't change, we could be extinct. There is this story about the storekeeper from one of the books I've read, The Alchemist. The storekeeper, there was this storekeeper and his ultimate dream was to visit Mecca as a pilgrim. So he kept on saving money for that journey. One day, a merchant passed by his store and struck up a conversation with him. The storekeeper eventually told the traveling merchant that his ultimate dream in life was to visit Mecca one day. And the rich merchant took pity on the storekeeper and gave him a bag of silver so he could fulfill his dream. The storekeeper thanked him profusely. A year later, the merchant passed by his store again. He asked the storekeeper about his trip to Mecca. The storekeeper took the bag of silver the merchant gave to him a year earlier and returned it to the merchant. He didn't go to Mecca. When asked by the merchant why he did not go on pilgrimage, the storekeeper replied that it was his dream of going to Mecca that kept him alive. That is, if his dream is realized, he would have no more reason to go on living. Just before I enrolled at the AP, I felt like I had plateaued as a scientist. I thought I reached the peak of my chosen career. And just like the storekeeper, I have to find my raison d'etre, as the French would say it, in my job if I want to continue working in the public sector. This was one of the reasons why I enrolled in the AP. I needed challenges. I needed fresh perspectives in my career. I needed a new room full of fresh cheese to keep myself from going the way of the dinosaurs, to preserve myself from becoming extinct. Our families are the most important people in our lives. This is the second lesson that I learned. Public service is a highly fulfilling job, not in terms of compensation, but because we are working to uplift the lives of other Filipinos. There is no greater reward than being able to contribute for the greater glory of the Filipinos. However, that should not get in the way of striking a balance between our job as public servants and our responsibilities to our families. Several years back, a distant relative died. He was 62 years old then. I wasn't able to attend his wake and his burial because I was attending classes here in the AP. He was an amiable fellow, a friend to everyone, and a known workaholic. One day, this relative had difficulty urinating. It was later discovered that one of his kidneys had a mass. He was operated on and had one of his kidneys removed. After several weeks of rest, I visited him and we had an opportunity to have a serious conversation. During our talk, he told me that when he was confined at the hospital, waiting for his kidney operation and contemplating about his mortality, he came to the realization that the most important thing in his life was his family, the love of his wife and his daughter, and the time spent with them. He advised me to spend more time with my family because at your deathbed, in my deathbed, it is the only thing that matters. Not the length of time one spends with colleagues, or not the length of time one spends at work. He also said that during those trying times, not only one's immediate family would try to rally behind him or her. Only one's family would try to rally behind him or her. His colleagues would come to visit, would spend an hour or so, and would eventually leave. During the long nights when one is in pain, only the love and support of one's family would keep a person going. The third lesson I learned is to be more open-minded. There are times that we need to relax the way we see our society. When I was younger, I was rigid and emphatic with the ideas on how the world should function. As I get older, I realize that I should reserve more room for compromise as long as my core values are not violated. This is not becoming a sellout. It only means becoming more mature and more accepting of the views of other people. In your SEC class, you'll be required to submit a culminating paper called capstone paper. This paper, an academic requirement, can either be about a policy issue or a management case. I chose to write about a policy issue. When I presented my proposal during a one-on-one meeting with one of the advisors, I thought that my preferred topic was already in the bag. However, as part of the requirements, we were asked to submit at least 2 topics. Then the AP would choose only one for us. I wrote a short paragraph about one topic just for compliance and submitted it together with my preferred topic, which I prepared well in advance. Thinking that my preferred topic was already a go, I prepared my references as well as my travel documents for data gathering. Now comes the bad news. When the AP evaluation came out, my preferred topic, which I had prepared very well in advance, was rejected. The other topic, which I submitted for compliance, was approved. So I had a dilemma. I tried to reason out that I have already prepared for the other topic. But unfortunately, the decision was final. I was, of course, discouraged. What motivated me to really do my best in the topic that was chosen by DEP was the idea that my paper will be read by my colleagues at work and, of course, my boss. I wanted to shield myself from embarrassment and ridicule. Okay lang sana kung ako lang yung magbabasa. So that thought really drove me to make sure that my output was scholarly and well-researched. So don't get discouraged if your preferred topic will be rejected. This is my advice to the SEC Batch 12. You will never know, something good might come out of it. In my case, my topic, which is a bit just for compliance, was actually chosen as the most outstanding capstone paper in our batch. And the fourth lesson I learned is that everything happens for a reason. From the hindsight, each event that happened in our lives, whether good or bad, became the building blocks of who we are today. The difficulties that we experienced, the victories that we were blessed with, the struggles that we and our families encountered and hurdled together, were all stacked on top of each other to define who we are. We are the sum of all our experiences. At some point in your SEC journey, and this is not to frighten you, as I'm speaking from my own experience, you may entertain doubts about why you decided to enroll in PMDP. But just persevere. There were many moments in the past that I took question myself if I made the right decisions. However, looking back now at the journey I made and the struggles that I encountered, I have no regrets. When I was in college, I struggled with barely passing grades. But I persisted. Had I not been trained in UP to persevere despite failing grades, I would not have lasted when I did my graduate studies in France. And from where did I get the tenacity to persevere in college? It was from my childhood experiences. When my father lost his job after the logging company where he used to work folded up, we were hard up. Fortunately, my older siblings who were already employed during those days helped with the finances. They also helped pay for my education. So every time I became disillusioned with my academics in college, I would think about my siblings who provided for my allowances. Similarly, had I not persevered in Paris, starting from the language difficulties, especially because we were told that this is a French diploma, therefore you have to write your dissertation in French, I would not have obtained my PhD diploma. Had I not obtained my PhD diploma, I would not have been qualified to be appointed as the head of our institute. The cause and effect cycle is endless. Indeed, all that had happened in our lives are significant building blocks of who we are and where we are right now. It has been said that what we are today is the product of our decisions 5 years ago. Consequently, who we want to become 5 years from now would be the product of our decisions today. I am sure that your decision to join DAP today will have an impact on who you will be and where you will be 5 years from now. My advice for you today as you embark on your DAP journey is savor the experience. The discipline and friendships that you will forge in the next few months of your stay here in DAP are enough to sustain you as you reach for greater heights in the future. I will end my message with a quote from Star Trek, which is my favorite TV series. May you all live long and prosper. May the long life I wish for you be a life of service to others. And may your prosperity not come from the coffers of the government, but may you be rich in friends and rich in love of a grateful nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bacolcol, for your inspirational message. It is indeed a message to ponder. May we invite on stage President Caronan, SVP Mendoza, and Managing Director Caparos to present the plaque of appreciation to our inspirational speaker for tonight, Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol. Development Academy of the Philippines presents this plaque of appreciation to Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol, Director for Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, for his immeasurable contributions to his field. Steadfast commitment to duty and passion for excellence, hence inspiring the new scholars to zealously take on their PMDP journey to ultimately become distinguished public servants. Done on the 20th day of February 2023 at the opening ceremony of the Seniors Executive Class Batch 12 of the Public Management Development Program, the National Government's Career Executive Service Development Program, signed Attorney Engelbert C. Caronan Jr., President and CEO. Thank you. We have come to close of this momentous event. For everyone taking on the SEC Batch 12, the faculty, the learning management team, the module teams, and the rest of the DAP, we wish you all the best. To conclude, let us all sing the DAP hymn and pay homage to the mission, vision, and Philippines. Everyone, please rise.
Narito ang isang bandila sa gisag ng mithin at gawa. Dala niya'y hangaring balita sa inyo at maging sa madla. Ito ang samahan para sa pagbabago, tagod sa pulusang paglago. Hanggat panya'y karunungang tinatamon sa ugnayan siyang nanunod. Ito ang DAP, ang sa inyong lingkod. Gumaganap upang magbuklod ang bayan tungo sa miting dangal. Wagas ang pag-alay ng DAP sa inyo'y nagpupugay. Pakinggan ang tinig ng mga tao, naglilingkod sa bandilang ito. Ang magsikap ay laging may tamis, kahit hirap ay lumabis. Siglang dunot ng dakilang hangat, nang ang bayan natin ay umunlad. Ito ang DAP, ang sa inyong lingkod. Gumaganap upang magbuklod ang bayan tungo sa mithining dangal. Wagas ang pag-alay ng DAP sa inyo'y kapupunan.
You may now be seated. On behalf of the DAP PMDP family, we would like to thank our distinguished guests for joining us in this very important ceremony in welcoming the 12th batch of the Senior Executives class. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening. May we now invite everyone for the photo opportunity. Please proceed as we call you. On stage as we call you. President Engelbert Caronan, Senior Vice President for Programs Magdalena Mendoza, Managing Director Nanette Caparos, Dr. Teresito C. Bacolcol, Sec 12 Class Director Noy Bite, Program Manager Millet Young, Program Manager Maida Nieves, Program Manager Cheryl Reyes, PMDP faculty members, and other DAP officers, Class Director Virginia Aldea, Class Director Lisa Ines C. Antonio, Dr. Maria Lourdes Rebolida, and Program Manager Monalyn Cuenca. And also, we would like to invite the SEC Batch 12. Don't be shy po. We'd also like to invite Sec 12 Learning Management Team Jade Ursua and Shaina Iruma. Give us your best smile in 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, and 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you very much. Please stay on stage and may we call on Sec 11 to join the group. We'd also like to invite Sec 11 Class Director Josefa Bautista, Sec 11 Learning Management Team Eds Bimbo and James Molina. Oh, you're... All right. Give us your cheeses. Say cheese. Okay, one. Okay. Okay. Medyo nag-a-adjust po sa likod. Ayan. Okay. Higher daw po, Miss Eds. Tsaka si Miss... Ayan, si Miss Abby. All right. And move to your left. Okay. Meron daw pong hindi nakikita sa likod, so we'll... Okay. Ayan, may switching na ayan. Alright, ayan, side daw po tayo. Ayan. Okay, move. Ayan. Perfect na po ba ang ating picture? Okay. Say cheese! One more. Show us your PMDP smile. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Pwede na po tayong kumain. Salamat.